Hi guys! So more on my Treat Your Feet series. I do want to focus a little bit on a stretch for the hamstrings. Sorry, not the hamstrings, the Achilles tendon and the soles of your feet. These stretches that I'm about to show you are deceptively simple, but I promise if you really focus your attention on the parts of the body that we're stretching out, you will get a huge benefit from these stretches. So I'm going to have you actually start standing. I've got the camera low because I really want you to pay attention to what my feet are doing. We're going to start in a nice even parallel, hi kitty, without our weight being shifted forward or shifted back on our heels, right? So our pelvis is over our hips are right over our heels. And from there you're just going to squat down. Ooh, I already felt my ankle pop. And put your hands on the ground as soon as you need to for balance or for weight. So here I'm just in an easy squat position and I've kept my heels on the ground as long as possible, and then they just rise up easily. I'm not forcing anything here. Grab your toes and manually lift them forward and up and out and re-splay them on the ground, because they can tend to get crunched here if you're not careful. Next thing we want to pay attention to is the fact that we are not shifting our ankles out or to the inside to where they're touching and close. We want our ankles to be basically still right under my hips. I've come from that straight standing parallel position to this squatting parallel position. Let me scoot back a little bit for y'all. Okay, now, again, I'm using my hands for as much weight and balance as I need here. And this is the most important part of the stretch. So it's really easy here to just sort of collapse down, create this nice soft little self-love position. Go for that sometimes. Sometimes we need to feel it. But right now, when we're trying to stretch our Achilles, what I want you to do is engage the bottom part of your core, so this part of my pelvis right here, and I'm lengthening my spine as long as I can make it, all the way through the crown of my head. And here I'm going to melt that torso over my thighs, right? So I don't just want to like kind of come down into a close position. I want to make the length of my back as long as possible, even though I'm curving, right? We're stretching the arc of that circle to be as long as we can make it. So I'm really melting far away here with my head. And then at the very last minute, I'm going to drop my neck and let my head hang like a kettlebell. This is a very easy place to cheat. I see people think they're doing this stretch and they're holding their neck right here. They're holding their head. Really drop it. Just let that weight go completely. And then again, I'm using my hands for as much balance as I need. From here, you can take the hands forward slightly, because what you're trying to do is take some of the weight back into those Achilles tendons. Right here on the back of your foot, on the back of the ankle is your Achilles tendon, right? So I'm going to take the weight back, which means I'm going to shift my hands forward just enough to keep my balance, right? If this is hard for you, see if you can actually hold on to something like the bottom of a counter or something like that, so that you can just shift your weight back just subtly, just slightly, and then again, drop the head. Nice big deep breaths, huge stretch in the Achilles here, right? There is where you want to feel it. The other thing I would say for this stretch is to hold it for just a couple seconds longer than you think you should. Again, it can be such a subtle thing, and our Achilles are so tight normally that we can have a hard time feeling the benefit of that stretch. So that's the stretch for our Achilles tendon. Nice big deep breaths there, really hang the head, lots of weight, and keep the arc at the back just as long as you can. So feeling the space in between each vertebrae as opposed to just sort of crunching down, right? That will really help your Achilles, which can be important for poses like downward facing dog, right? Where we're trying to get those heels comfortably on the ground if we can. You need to have that flexibility in your Achilles to be able to do that. So good luck with that, and I will show you a stretch next for the arches of your feet.